Bhagavad-gita Adhyaya 3 Shloka 38 Dhumena-vriyate vanhihi yatha darsho malena यथोल्बेनावृतो गर्भः तथा तेनेदमावृतम्। Arjuna has asked a question to Bhagavan. What compels an individual to compromise with the values of dharma despite not liking to do so? Then Bhagavan answered that it is kama, desire. Desire compels an individual to compromise with the values of dharma. As an enemy, vidyena-miha vairinam. Kama, desire, is an internal enemy. Now, with some examples, Bhagavan is describing how the desire envelops the Viveka Jnana. All of us have Viveka Jnana up to certain extent. It is not that we don't know what is right and wrong. To a large extent, we are aware of what is right and what is wrong, what is dharma and what is adharma. The knowledge of the distinction between dharma and adharma is called Viveka Jnana. The human beings in general are aware of the right and wrong up to a good extent. Everyone knows it is not good to tell lies. Telling lies is unethical. Everyone knows. It is not good to hurt others. Everyone knows. There are certain values that are universally known. Despite knowing the dharma, the values, people end up compromising with the values. And it is because of kama, desire. The desire forces us to compromise with the value. And now Bhagavan is explaining how the desire overpowers our viveka jnana. Dhumena vriyate vanhihi. It is an example. The fire is radiant, brilliant in nature. But when there is smoke, the smoke envelops the brilliance of fire, overpowers the brilliance of fire, subjugates the brilliance of fire. Because smoke is darkness in nature. Likewise, the kama overpowers our viveka jnana. The viveka jnana is the voice of our conscience. On a given occasion, supposing that we are tempted to tell a lie, because telling a lie is going to be beneficial on a given occasion, when we tell a lie, the voice of our conscience tries to stop us. It says, don't tell a lie, because it is not right to do so. It is adharma to tell a lie. But then there is a voice of temptation. Voice of desire. A voice of impulse. All of us have these two voices. The voice of conscience, which is viveka jnana, the voice of viveka. Another is the voice of temptation, voice of impulse. Most often we experience a tug of war between these two. When the desire is strong and we are not making use of our willpower to subjugate the desire, the desire overpowers. The voice of impulses overpower the voice of conscience. And then the voice of conscience gets suppressed, subjugated, and the impulses take over. The desire takes over. And we end up compromising with the values. This is a very good example how the smoke overpowers fire. There is fire. It's not that there is no fire, because without fire there cannot be smoke. Yatra yatra dhumaha tatra tatra vannihi. Wherever there is smoke, there has to be fire. Likewise, we all have the viveka. We have the viveka jnana. But it gets overpowered by the dark smoke of impulses. The dark smoke of desire. The dark smoke of temptation. Yatha darsho malena cha. Yatha adarshaha malena avriyate. Adarshaha means a mirror. Mirror gets covered by mala, impurity, dust. Dust covers a mirror. When the mirror is clear, we are able to see our face clearly. To a great extent, we are able to see our face as it is. But when there is a dust, the mirror is covered by impurities, then we get a blur vision of our face. Likewise, the desire when there is a desire in our mind, we lose clarity in thinking. Even though we have the understanding of right and wrong, in that moment, we are not able to think clearly regarding what is going to be beneficial to us in the long run. The desire blocks the clarity of our thinking. यथोल्बेनावृतो गर्भः यथा उल्बेन गर्भः आवृतः. It is the third example. Ulba means the embryonic membrane. The membrane, the skin-like cover that covers the fetus, the embryo, garbha. It is called ulba. Ulbena garbha avrataha. Garbha is covered by the membrane. It is the third example. Tatha tenedamavratam. Similarly, tena idam avratam. Tena kamena, by desire, idam means vivekajnana. The vivekajnana is avratam, enveloped, hidden, overpowered, suppressed. Next sloka, sloka 31. Sorry, 39. Avratam jnanametena jnanino nityavairina kamarupena kaunteya dushpurenanalena cha. He Kaunteya, O son of Kunti, etena jnaninaha nityavairina kamarupena. Etena kamarupena jnaninaha nityavairina. Bhagavan refers to Kama as a nityavairi, a permanent enemy of a jnani. For a jnani, here jnani refers to a viveki, a wise man. For a jnani, The Kama is Nitya Vairi, always an enemy. Now one might ask, why does Bhagavan say that Kama is an enemy of only a jnani? Kama is everybody's enemy. Even for an ajnani, an aviveki, Kama is an enemy. But then an ajnani does not understand Kama as an enemy. Instead, he thinks Kama is his friend. Most of the people in the world take desire for their friend, because most often people think that without having desires, they cannot be happy in life. Without desires, they cannot enjoy life. And without enjoying life, they cannot be happy in life. Therefore, majority of the people think desire is a friend. But a viveki, a wise man, understands that it is not true. Bhartrhari was a king, and this king wrote a text called Vairagya Shatakam. Vairagya Shatakam contains 100 verses of Vairagya. 100 verses dealing with Vairagya. In Vairagya Shatakam, Bhartrhari says, Satu bhavati daridro yasya trishna vishalaha. Yasya trishna vishala. Who is a poor man? Shortage of money makes a person poor. Shortage of wealth makes a person poor. This is our general understanding. But Bhartrhari says, it is not so. What makes us poor is the number of unfulfilled desires. One who has more unfulfilled desires is poor. He may be a rich man living in a palatial building, but if you speak to him, he has complaints after complaints, because despite all his wealth, he has many unfulfilled desires. Therefore, he is not happy. A single unfulfilled desire is enough to make a person miserable. Therefore, Bhartrhari says, a rich man is the one who does not have any desires. When you don't have desires, you are happy. You find satisfaction. Whereas a poor man is the one who has many desires. Satu bhavati daridro yasya trishna vishala manasi cha paritushte korthavan ko daridraha. When there is satisfaction in the mind, it does not make any difference whether you are wealthy or whether you have no wealth. Therefore, it is an ajnani who takes desire for his friend, whereas a viveki, a wise man, understands that desire is never a friend. It is always an enemy. Therefore, jnaninaha nityavairina. Desire is a nityavairi of a jnani, a viveki. Kama rupena. When the desire is kama, the enemy is kama. And Bhagavan clarifies that one can never gratify the kama. Kama can never be gratified. It is like fire. If you try to gratify the fire, it does not quench. Instead, it grows. Therefore, Bhagavan compares desire to fire. Anala. Fire is called anala in Sanskrit. Why it is called anala? Na vidyate alam yasya saha analaha. Because fire will never say enough. Fire will never say enough. You have to say enough to the fire. That is why it is called anala. The more you feed, it will ask for more. Ye dil mange more. Therefore, Fire is called anala. Desire also will not say enough. Therefore, desire is also an anala. Analena. It is anala because it is dushpura. Impossible to gratify. Dushpurena analena. The fire which cannot be gratified. The fire which cannot be satisfied. In Mahabharata, there is a story of Yayati. Yayati was a king. King Yayati got a shapa, a curse from Shukracharya. And the curse was that Yayati should become old. Yayati loses his youth and becomes old, becomes aged. That is the curse. So Yayati lost his youthful body and he became an old man all of a sudden because of Shukracharya's curse. But then Yayati was not happy because now he cannot enjoy his life. To enjoy the life, we should have a youthful body. So Yayati cannot enjoy the life now. But he has many unfulfilled desires that he wants to fulfill. Yayati had 5 sons. One of them was Puru. So Yayati asked his sons to exchange their youthful age with him. To exchange their youthfulness with him. He asked his first son, "Give me your youthfulness and take my old age." First son said no. He asked second son. Even the second son said no. He asked third son. Even the third son said no. And fourth son said no. Finally he went to Puru. Puru was devoted to his father. Therefore, Puru agreed to exchange his to exchange his youth with his father's old age. Then with some mantra, they exchanged it. Puru became old and Yayati became young once again. And Yayati remained youth for 1000 years and enjoyed all that he can do, all that he could enjoy. He ate all kinds of food, went to all places that he could go, everything he did, making use of the borrowed youthfulness. For 1000 years, he enjoyed his life. In olden days, perhaps people could live very long, thousands of years. Then, even after 1000 years of enjoyment, Yayati was not satisfied. Yayati thought that he will fulfill all his desires, and when he becomes free from all his desires are fulfilled, then he was thinking of giving his youth back to his son, so that let his son also should enjoy. But even after 1000 years, Yayati found that none of his desires are really gratified. Instead, all his desires have grown. They have become more intense by way of gratification, by way of fulfillment. Therefore, Yayati makes a statement in Mahabharata. Najatu kamah kamanam upabhogena shamyati havisha krishnavartmeva bhuya eva bhivardhate. Definitely, kamaha kamanam upabhogena na shamyati. Desire cannot be quenched by means of gratification, by means of enjoyment. Instead, the more you feed a desire, the more you try to gratify a desire, it keeps increasing. Like the fire. This is an important statement in Mahabharata. Therefore, Kama is dushpura, impossible to satisfy. Therefore, one cannot think of getting rid of the desires by gratifying the desires. Then how to be free from desires? The way to be free from desires is to make use of our viveka. Make use of something called dosha darshanam. Dosha darshanam means being aware of the limitations of the objects that we desire. If I have a desire for a given object, I should start seeing its limitations. I should constantly remind myself of its limitations. If I constantly dwell on the limitations of a given object, in due course of time, the desire vanishes. Dosha darshanam involves seeing the limitations of any material object. The material object itself is temporary. This is one dosha, one limitation. When the material object itself is temporary, it cannot promise me permanent happiness. It is another dosha. If I start seeking happiness in the material object, I will have to go through more suffering than happiness. Most often, people suffer more than the happiness that they find in a given object. Likewise, we have to keep listing of the doshas, the limitations. Through dosha darshanam, one can get rid of the desires. Therefore, the way to be free from desire is not gratification of the desire. Instead, it is dosha darshanam. Dosha darshanam is nothing but exercising our viveka, exercising our understanding, to get rid of the desire. Shloka 40. Indriyani mano buddhihi asyadhisthanamuchyate etairvimohayatyeshaha ज्ञानमावृत्य देहिनम् desire, kama is the enemy, and the enemy needs to be conquered. We have to conquer our enemy. If the enemy is not conquered and we allow the enemy to flourish, then we will be in trouble. Therefore, the enemy, the desire enemy, needs to be conquered. How to conquer? To conquer the enemy, we should know where it is located. The locus of the enemy should be understood. Where the enemy is hiding. Bhagavan says, Kama is present in Indriya, Manas and Buddhi. Indriyani Manaha Buddhihi Asya Adhishtanam Uchyate. Indriyani, the senses. Manaha, Manas, the mind. The emotional faculty. And Buddhihi, the intellect. All these are the adhisthana, the locus of the enemy, Kama. Eshaha Kamaha, this Kama, etaihi, through these, through Indriya, Manas and Buddhi, Jnanam Avritya, the Kama overpowers Jnana, and Dehinam Moha Vimohayati, he deludes a Dehi, confounds a Dehi, an individual. Indriyani, Manaha and Buddhihi. This is where the Kama attacks. It is like virus. Every virus attacks a particular place of our body, a particular organ. So there are some viruses, they attack our throat. They cause throat infection. Then there are viruses that attack our skin. Then there are viruses that attack urinary tract infection. Thus there are various types of germs and they attack a definite portion of our body, a definite organ in our body. Likewise, even karma attacks us in a particular place, a particular faculty of our individuality. First of all, it attacks our indriyas, senses. I look at a sweet, that I like most. As soon as I look at the sweet, my mouth starts salivating. The desire has come to indriya. The mouth starts salivating means the desire has come to the indriya. It is there at the indriya level. Even at that point, I can try to disconnect with the desire by just abandoning the object using my willpower. Even at the indriya level, one can get rid of the desire. It is the primary stage. In the primary stage, it is easy to get rid of a desire. It's just like any disease. If it is the primary stage, you can easily get out of it. Easy to treat. So, in the primary stage, the desire is impulsive. An attraction in my senses. Then I can use my willpower and get rid of it easily. But then I don't get rid of it. I cherish the desire. Then the desire comes to my mind. Manas. My manas starts dwelling on the desire. How nice it is to have a rasgulla. So the thought of enjoying the given sweet repeats in my mind. I start imagining enjoying the given sweet, relishing the given sweet. So from indriya, the desire has come to my manas. It has taken over my manas. But then there is a buddhi. My buddhi is still intact. It is not conquered by the desire yet. The buddhi tells me, don't eat the sweet, because eating this sweet is not going to be good for you. you are diabetic. If not fully diabetic, borderline diabetic. So don't eat the sweet. The buddhi tells me, my mind. But it is too late, because the desire has gained strength in my manas, in my emotional faculty. And when it has gained strength in my manas, it tries to overpower my buddhi also. The desire conquers my buddhi also. The desire captures my buddhi also. And then there is a stage when even my buddhi starts justifying. Life is meant for enjoying. Why I should be so particular about my health? Always. Why should I think of my health always? It is okay to enjoy sweet once in a while. Even my buddhi starts providing some justification. Intellectual justification to what I feel like doing. That is how the desire conquers my buddhi also finally. When the buddhi is also conquered, then there is no hope. Then I start eating the sweet. Sweet one sweet. Then it is not enough. Eat one more. Just one day. One more sweet. Eat one more. One more sweet. I end up gulping 5 rasgullas. And the following day, I go for blood test and it shows high diabetes, high sugar, and then I start taking medicine. That is how the desire conquers the individual in various stages. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi